Wednesday, 8th of May 2019, and welcome to the midweek edition of the Star Good Morning Show. I am Leonora Jora, and a wise word for today says, don't let yesterday take up too much of today. It is from Will Rogers. Top stories we shall be looking in the program today. The Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology has officially organized its first matriculation ceremony of over 250 matriculating students at their Allentown campus in Freetown. The Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Danemo, has officially launched the first induction session for the 4 sets of beneficiaries under the Agri-Business Smallholder Commercialization Project in Bo City. The management of Star Television, in collaboration with Gospel Promoters Union, has unveiled the Star National Gospel Expo. Well, to discuss more about that is Ezekiel Favor Kagbo and Minister Idris. They shall be talking to me more. They are also a member of the Gospel Promoters Union. They shall be talking to me more. Joining me also is Victor Ako Mengot, Traffic Road Safety Engineer, Chartered Transportation and Highway Engineer. We shall be looking at road safety, and also we shall be looking at the 5th UN Global Road Safety Week, which acknowledges that strong leadership is needed to advance road safety in countries and communities to achieve related sustainable development goal and other targets. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, stay with me, and remember the Star Good Morning Show is sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank. We shall be right back.
Keke account, you in a keke rider. Osusu account, for you in a trader. Mighty account.
You don't people only keke there. Who say you the worship so? Tell who's smoking my way the worship for you. We don't get all length in there.
Now Rokel Commercial Bank na then the worship for me.
Rokel Commercial Bank don't get money, man. Tell me about the account.
Na keke account na inna the money, man.
Tell me what is keke. Tell me what is keke.
I be advised on the last time say
yes.
Make una go open keke account. Always una the admire too. Na keke account don't give me. I got over 20 kekes the way they want for me.
What in?
Yes. Even the big dons na the country presently. Na me and then they operate.
With that small money, we will put in the account. Now you buy all the things they are so it.
That small money they na you don't turn something for me directly.
Now me they get money. I don't give me woman. Petty money all the eater.
Mommy man, take your money, go na any branch. Tell them say you want to open account. Simple.
The problem I get now that me na bike rider. I wonder if I'm going to for open keke account for me.
Whether you na bike rider, whether you na keke rider, whether you dey ride omolanke or push wheelbarrow, I tell una for free. That account is there for una all. Yes.
So how? Any can
just go na any branch.
Any of them branch?
Yes. Tell them say you want to open keke account. That's all.
The matter don't done. It don't done. Me they go open your account. Nothing.
You will the ride bike. Keke riders, omolanke pushers. Una can join we now go Rokel Commercial Bank inside keke account. We all can be millionaire.
Can join Rokel Commercial Bank.
Bank with Rokel Commercial Bank #1. Bank with Rokel Commercial Bank #1.
Hello again, good morning, and it's 9 minutes gone past the hour 9. Let's now begin. I beg your pardon, 4 minutes gone past the hour 9. Let's now start off with our first news item for today. Now, the Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology has officially organized its first matriculation ceremony of over 250 matriculating students at their Allentown via Jewel Bridge campus in Freetown. Hassan Kuruma takes up the story.
Well-attended matriculation ceremony at the Luban College of Technology and Social Sciences marks the official entry of new students into higher institutions of learning, which is a statutory gathering to formally admit deserving and qualified candidates who are fortunate to be admitted into the college. Giving the welcome address, the chairman of the College Board of Governors, Steve Lamin, noted that this is a special occasion for matriculants going through the matriculation ceremony, describing a bold step as a move to conflict resolution, and implored all to work very hard and hope to see them years from now to celebrate laurels of graduation ceremony.
Let me especially welcome you, the matriculants to Luban College for the first time, and wish you a pleasant stay. This is a special occasion for matriculants who are going through the matriculation ceremony. Today's society is a knowledge society. Things keep changing fast that anyone who stops learning will surely become a functional illiterate within a short time. I admonish you to work very, very hard so that you will all again assemble here before us to celebrate laurels of our graduation ceremony. I ask the audience to join me share this matriculants. Hip, 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 hooray!
Making his keynote address, the Executive Director and Principal of Luban College, Dr. Abdul Bangura, congratulates all matriculating students, thanking them for choosing the institution as their preferred choice. Dilating on the lecture process and continuous assessment, he says students are encouraged to be punctual in attending classes, as the minimum attendance of 75% required to examination hall.
Choosing Luban College as an institution of first choice out of the numerous colleges in this country is a clear confirmation of the confidence reposed on us for our academic excellence known both nationally and internationally. My dear students and parents present here, well-wishers, I would like to assure you all in explicit terms that I am determined to uphold, protect, and ensure the peaceful stay of all students in the Luban College. Matriculating students, the main objective of the matriculation exercise today is to acquaint you with the fundamental principles, norms, and culture of this institution. These core values have projected the image of this institution as a center for learning and character modeling of our students. The core values also depict of the vision of our college, which is to nurture high standards and quality in producing academics, professionals, and entrepreneurs. As you heard from the song, we will not salvage quality. We will maintain standard and never salvage quality. No matter who you are, we will maintain that quality and standards.
Advising the matriculating students on the disciplinary aspect, he called on them to exhibit what he referred to as high sense of discipline in and out of the college. Dr. Bangura also warned that the college will not award its diploma to students who are found wanting in character and in learning.
The college does not permit any activities, any antisocial groups operating on the campus. In particular, membership of cult groups is prohibited and offenders will summarily be expelled. If you are caught in any occult society or occult processes, we'll expel you immediately. As long as we verify, yes, that is the truth, you leave this campus. Because we are not here for that. We are here to build you in spirit, to build your mind and your body. And cultism does not.
Making his remarks, the Registrar Luban College, Ayuba Sise, expands more on the courses offered.
Courses of study at Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology. The college offers certificate, diploma, and higher national diploma courses with a duration of 1 year for the certificate and 2 years for the diploma and higher national diploma courses. The courses are subsumed under 3 departments, namely Management and Finance 2, Development and Media Studies 3, Information Technology and Computer Science.
The Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology was established in 2012 in a bid to encourage manpower development training, help build the manpower capacity of the country at middle management level with a vision to raise leaders who are complete in spirit, mind and body. The occasion was climaxed with signing of the register and a drama performance by the Students' Union depicting the importance of education. For Star News in Freetown, Hassan Kouma reporting.
Thank you, Hassan, for that report. And now let's become to my guest in the studio. You know, it's Wednesday. We normally do entertainment, and we're starting off with entertainment as Star Television, in collaboration with the Gospel Promoters Union, we've unveiled a Gospel Musical Expo. It's actually a gospel competition that will be coming up shortly. To discuss that, I have with me Minister John Idris and Ezekiel Favor Kagbo. I don't know which one of you I will start with.
You can start with Minister
Okay, Minister Idris.
Okay, yes.
Let's get to know the initiative of this Gospel Expo. What is it all about?
Well, first of all, happy to be on the Good Morning Show, and thank you for hosting us. Actually, the Gospel Expo is all about showcasing the talent that the church has, because you know there are a lot of potentials in the church. You have people who are really blessed with a lot of things they can do, but the platform for everybody to see them, has not been there. And so we want to say a big thank you to Star TV for giving the church that platform to say, I know you have people who have talent, I know you have people who can do, exercise their gifts that God has given to them, but now we want Sierra Leone to see it. We want the world to see it. And so if you know you're out there, you have this talent, come out and let us see. And so that is actually the whole initiative of the Star Gospel Expo. It is about showcasing what people have and encouraging other people that have those talents to come on board and know that I have this thing. I must be able to bless other people with it. So,
okay, Ezekiel, would you want to add something to that?
Yes, of course, being part of the Media One Center Star Television, it has been a long time. Star Television has embarked helping the circular aspect of entertainment sector, which of course people know us for promoting circular artists. But Star Television is, I can say, the institution that creates a avenue for every department. Now, Star Television want to give back to the church. After for a long time, we have done so much things. You know about Google Spell. We have that platform.
Which you are the producer.
Yes, I'm the presenter of Google Spell. But now we want to give the church, the open church, the platform to showcase their self. It's about giving back. Star Television believe on one thing that we stand, that what makes us stand is God. It's not about ourselves, it's about God. So what we want to do is how best we can see how Star Television and the church can be in that interactive forum, that interactive atmosphere where the church can be part of Media One Center and Media One Center can be part of the church. When you think about a program that the church will have there, they will think about Star Television, Media One Center. When you think about a program, religious program, a Star Television where the church will be involved. So we want to give back to the church. So we create this opportunity and this platform for the church to showcase their gifts and their talent. It's like doing this Sarah Idol show, talking about American Idol show. It's that kind of platform. For a long time we've seen, I think it was 1999, way back, we think about competition. SBS we are doing SBS at that time we are doing this type of competition, singing on the television. So it's a comeback thing.
So describe for us, how would this competition be like?
It's gonna be twofold. We have what you call it, we have the singing, we have the audition sector.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We will audit. We try to know those that are qualified to go on here. We have two type of auditions. We have the dry auditions where you do all the one that bought the form will come. We will meet you at your church, at your convenient church. There will meet you. You perform. We assess. The judges will assess. Then, if you are qualified to go to the next stage, which is the next stage is to be shown on television. You will be shown on television. That the judges will be in the studio. Likewise, viewers out there will be participating by voting, texting to the line that we are going to be showing on the screen.
Okay.
So that's how.
So what category? Let me ask Minister John. What category of people are you targeting? Is this only for upcoming gospel artists? Or
we want to make it open.
Open.
Yeah,
okay.
because you also have people who call themselves established gospel artists, but they are not known. Maybe to themselves, they think, well, I've done 5 albums, I think I'm established. But if you ask the guy in Bo or McKinney or, Waterloo, they don't know them because of, the platform has not been there to really see and to know them. And so we want to make it open. We want to say everybody can come as long as you are part of the church, because that is just a criteria.
It's basically for Christians.
Yes. We want to make it very clear. Yeah, we want to target the church as Ezekiel said. The mandate or Star TV said we want to give back to the church. And so if they tell you want to give back to the church, then you have to ensure that it is the church that benefits. Because as he said, they've been giving opportunities to other, aspect of entertainment. But now they've planned to target the church. And so we're going to make it open. We want to target groups. You can be a group can be part of this program. A choir can be part of this program, or even individuals. They can also be part of the choir. So it doesn't matter if you think you are an established artist, you are an upcoming artist. It is an open platform where you will come and showcase what you have.
Okay, before I come to my other guest there, you've been promoting gospel music in the country, but let's see, give us a scenario. How does it look like promoting gospel music in Sierra Leone? Is gospel music getting the recognition it deserves?
Yes, I can say we thank God. There has been a lot of improvement, because there has been this argument around the gospel term, which is the old gospel musicians succeeded, while the new gospel musicians are not succeeded. But if you can take a look at the old gospel musicians, there are certain facilities that we have now that they do not have, like the improvement of technology. Now your songs can be on Facebook, YouTube. You talk about all those things, iTunes, Audiomack, and all those kind of stuff. You understand? Then the video quality at that time was not that kind, like an HD quality. You understand? But for now, we have the improvement of technology. But the thing that we lack is we have this thing that they respect, the acknowledgement for the old gospel musicians and the acknowledgement for the new gospel musicians, to see how best these two can merge and get a perfect entertainment, or I can say a perfect spiritual ministry. But for now, I can say we have like 70%, we are improving 70% of the gospel music ministry.
So setting up a platform like this, the One Star TV and the Gospel Promoters Union is about to do now, what impact will it create in the gospel industry?
It will create a very important impact. Of course, me and you know that we are having some television stations. We are having this kind of programs, you understand, this kind of circular entertainment programs, that most of the viewers of this program are Christians. There has been this call for, we want Christian programs, we want Christian reality show programs, so that people can keep themselves busy, you understand, watching their own Christian content and feel like it. If you look at most of the time watching DSTV, I look at TBN, a gospel African station in South Africa. Most people like to watch them because they have this gospel content, they have this Christian content. So it will create that kind of impact in the life of
even
Christian.
CDJX television also
Yes.
has that kind of...
Yes, so it will able to create a positive impact, especially in the life of so many Christians who would love to, you understand, I want to be part of this thing. So some people love to see their people being shown on television. Just for example, but this program that is showing on television now, if another person see someone is showing his called body, almost they pay for this body, almost not, you understand, because
and I
you want to
think
be
getting into a reality show, you automatically become a star.
Yeah. I wanna come in. I think it's really, really important and a really, really big platform that we as Christians and especially those that have the talent to really take advantage of. As you said, even if you have the best product, but then it is not known, people will not buy it. Yeah, so it is just the same as talent. If you're just in your small corner, in your small local church, and then you have this huge talent, your people in your local church will enjoy it, but what is the exposure and the benefit that you will get out of that talent? And so I think that is the platform that Star TV has created. You know, so just being part of this show automatically makes you a star, as you said, and it also makes your ministry known, your church known, and then you don't know who you inspire with your talent. We've seen people come to God just because they saw somebody singing, and they say, "Oh, I want to be part of that church because of this brother or this sister, and the way they sing or the way they dance, the way they do this and that." And then, as Minister Ezekiel said, it is also, I mean, a way that Christians, families can be together in the evening, you know, sit together and just look at a Christian program, a Christian reality show, a Christian content show, and then the mother can say, if that guy can do it, you can also do it, my son, you can do it, my daughter. So it's really huge, and that is why we are really excited, and we're encouraging people, we're encouraging churches, we're encouraging groups, we're encouraging individuals to be part of this Gospel Expo, because it is going to come with numerous benefits for you, for the Christians in Sierra Leone, and every other person, not just Christians, every other person that we will look at the show, and even the churches.
It's a platform that will open doors.
Yes, we are very,
All right,
very
continue to stay with me. They are Minister John Idris and Ezekiel, my crazy colleague Ezekiel. They are talking to me about a Gospel Expo that Star TV, in collaboration with Gospel Promoters Union, has unveiled. Now let's leave entertainment for now. Let's talk about road safety, which is very paramount in the world. To discuss that, I have with me, like I said earlier, Victor Ako Mengot is a traffic road safety engineer, chartered transportation and highway engineer, and I think you also advise at Road Safe Salon.
Well, I do work with an organization called Campaign for Safer Roads in Sierra Leone, which was set up in 2007. We are a not-for-profit group. Our main focus is to raise awareness on road safety. We have several chapters around Sierra Leone. As you see, we are done in the thing. We have in Lonsal, Makeni, we have in Lonsal, Putloko, Rukupu, Freetown, Calvertown, and Kono. We have road safety ambassadors. These are people who go to keke parks, lorry parks, to sensitize people of road safety. We also work with the police to actually see how they can enforce traffic laws like a go-between. And we know that we have a lot of keke and Okada riders, and some of these people are not aware of the law. And we want them to be able to work with the police so that they can transport our people safely. So that's what I do for Road Safe Sierra Leone. But on the professional side, I do a lot of work around Africa on road safety.
What are some of the work?
Currently, I'm doing a program in Liberia, which is looking at how you manage road safety, looking at the institutional setup for road safety. But let me put it in capacity, why this Road Safety Week. In 2009, there was a resolution in the United Nations that from 2011 to 2020, that would be the decade of action for road safety. And every country should try to reduce road deaths by 50%. Throughout the world, 1.35 million people are killed on our roads. To put it in perspective, in Sierra Leone, the last statistics we have by the police was in 2017. We have about 3,400 accidents on our road. Of those, 1,700 people are killed. And why is this happening? There are several reasons, but the majority of that is due to human error. People don't know how to use the road safely. Especially when you travel with keke, there are laws in this country that you should wear helmets. We see all type of helmets. I mean, women in particular are very good customers of Okada riders, but they don't want to wear these helmets. So we're looking at the whole safety. But to put it in perspective, the UN Road Safety Week is a biannual event, which every country should take stock of what happens in road safety. And the theme this year is leadership. Leadership for road safety, because road safety cuts across a lot of areas in the 5 pillars that the UN have actually identified.
So let's analyze that thing, leadership for road safety.
Yeah, leadership for road safety. When we talk about leadership for road safety, let's start with the three arms of government in Sierra Leone. You have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Let's start with the legislature. Our road safety laws, they are in order, but we need a review because there are different institutions involved in road safety. You have the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, which is the lead organization, who is doing a very good job. We have the police, the Traffic Management and Road Safety Division. We have Freetown City Council. So there are issues to do with car parking, issues to do with how you look at the laws, enforcement. Like enforcement, we have the traffic police officers. We also have Road Safety Corps. How do they work together to make sure that the law is enforced in a fair manner? So that's one area. Then we look at issues to do with safer vehicles, right? Most accidents happen because people don't maintain their vehicle regularly. We have laws in this country that relate to roadworthiness test. Is it being applied? Are people going through that? Yes, the Road Safety Authority is doing a very good job. But then the legislature, in most countries, you have committees in parliament that monitor road safety. They should be at the forefront of reviewing our laws to make sure that they mirror the current situation. Some of the laws we have, when they were actually enacted, we didn't have vehicles like Keke and Okada. And this has made a big impact on our traveling public. So how safe are they? Do they serve the needs of the public? And let's go to the executive. Recently, you have all the ministries. You have the two main ministries, which is the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, which is responsible for transport policy, and then you have the Ministry of Public Works, which is responsible for improving the infrastructure, that is roads. Do we design roads for vehicles or do we design roads for people? In countries in the world, there are areas where the roads are pedestrianized, you have free traffic flow, and then the third arm of government when we talk about leadership is the judiciary. Right? Other countries around Africa, they've set up traffic courts, whereby people who are actually penalized for traffic offenses have a right of representation. So we have to look at how we deal with these cases. Yeah. The police raise a lot of revenue for the government through traffic fines. But some of those revenue, or most of them, go back to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. How much is now given back to the police to enforce road safety is another issue. So leadership starts with the three arms of government. Also, leadership also relates to people like us who work with the not-for-profit sector. To lead by examples, to make sure that we support like our ambassadors around the country who are there to save lives. So that is what leadership is all about. But then the other issue we talk about in road safety, we talk about driving standards. How do people get license? Are they actually going through a rigorous test, both theory and practice, for them to deserve to have a license? To have a license is a privilege, not a right. And it can be withdrawn. And we have laws in this country that says if you're persistent offenders, your license can be withdrawn. We need to look at how we interpret and do these laws. And the final area is what we talk about in road safety, post-crash accident and emergency response. We have an EMS service here, emergency medical service. But for the time being, they only respond to calls from the health centers, the public. Do we have what we call, like in the UK, we have a 999 number. In America, you have 911. If there's a road accident, you have a number to call, and you should have an ambulance in the scene. But more so, what some of our people are doing, when an accident occurs, we have people who are first responders, and they're not normally trained people. We'll be looking at these areas, which are high-risk areas, to train local communities so that they'll be able to respond to accidents instead of them going there to take videos of victims. Some of them even go and dispossess the victims of their belongings. So this awareness is very much what the whole campaign is about. But for that to happen, it's leadership. And we have the African Road Safety Charter, which says that government should work with organizations such as ours, because road safety is everybody's responsibility. Yes. And leadership is not just government. Leadership begins with us, who are people who are promoting road safety, and also people who use the vehicles.
Okay. So you've been a road expert. How can you assess the road safety situation in Sierra Leone? How safe are our roads?
Well, in terms of the infrastructure, the government have spent a lot of money successive government, and even this government, there are very good roads that we are building. But then when you build roads, you have to think about the people who use the roads. Are they knowledgeable enough to use the roads? Because if you're used to driving in the traffic in Freetown, doing an average of 15, 20 kilometers per hour, when you go on these roads like the Freetown Waterloo roads, where the traffic speeds can be as high as 70 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers per hour, maneuvering the vehicle is a different thing. You have to think about your thinking distance, your stopping distance, and your braking distance. Also, in some areas, government is trying in most places where there are a lot of people to look at traffic calming systems, what we call road humps. If you're going to put those on the roads, there must be standard designs, and that is the responsibility for SLRA. But the key issue is that we don't have good public transport in this country, because most of the people rely on keke and okada. We've seen in the last 12 months the number of okadas around. These people are people who have been used to riding keke. They've graduated to okada, and you can see all the atrocities they're causing on the road, just because of lack of proper training, lack of discipline, and lack of enforcement. So the road safety situation is more of a behavioral issue. Yeah, although the design issue is also very important. SLRA is looking at road design to make sure that the roads are designed having crash barriers, making sure that you have great separation, pedestrian systems, and these things are ongoing. But compared to other countries, Sierra Leone is doing well, but there's still more to be done.
Let's go back to some of the main factors responsible for the accidents in our country. Like you earlier stated, Sierra Leone has accounted for so many road accidents. What are some of the factors that we can say?
If you look at it from the statistics, I would say 90% is human behavior, impatience, indiscipline, right? The attitude of me first. You just need to observe how people drive on our roads, approaching roundabouts. They don't know who is supposed to have the right of way. Yeah. People just moving, and some people, because of their status or position, think that they can flout traffic laws. And I'll give you an example. One of the observations I've had in this country, which is a very serious issue, is wedding convoys. Most of these wedding convoys, they hire vehicles that are not licensed, are not insured, because they're in a car pond. They also do a very unsafe things, having young children who are page boy and bridesmaids standing on the vehicles with their head up there and having cameras, and they can drive against traffic. I mean, why should someone be in a hurry to go and get married? And that is the issue. You're in a hurry to go and get married, and how long will that union last? So they believe if I've got a wedding, I'm in a hurry, I should disturb other traffic people. So we should put a stop to this sort of behavior. Finally, when we talk about leadership, when President Julius Maada Bio came to power, he issued an executive order, and it's on record, that nobody, even his ministers, are not entitled to flout traffic laws, driving against traffic because they're in a hurry. So let's start with that. Let the leaders behave in a responsible manner. Because some of these our leaders think that because they have special number plates, like even the MP's constituency 053, minister's number plates, they just flout the rules. And as we say, let me put it in a local parlance. In Creole, they say, before foot, and bien foot de fala.
Would you also agree with me that drunk driving is also a cause of accidents?
Drunk driving, two other issues, drunk driving and fatigue. And fatigue is even worse. So if you're driving long distance, and I'm sure when the president came in, if you look at his initial speech and even his manifesto, he was talking at having places along the highway, like parks where people like rest stops. If you're driving a long distance, take a rest. So fatigue is a key issue. The police have been supplied with breathalyzers, and they've been starting to actually enforce drink driving, but it's not enough. Because, first of all, it's not just the punitive measure, it's massive education. People should know what are the dangers of drinking and driving. Yeah. Also, not only the drivers, as passengers, as users of public transport, we should be responsible enough to ensure that we don't enter a vehicle that is driven by a driver with alcohol smelling all over him. And for the keke riders, most people are talking about these guys using tramadol and all those things. So it's not just alcohol, it's these illegal substances. But then how do you enforce it? Well, we start first with massive public education. What are the dangers of this sort of behavior?
Okay, when I come back to it, we shall look at some of the possible solutions to some of these problems. Let's go to entertainment again. Let me bring in Ezekiel and Minister John Idris. How many contestants are we looking for in this competition?
Yes, basically for the registration is an open. If we have 200, 300 can register. It is the audition that we determine. But for the final stage, it's just like 50 that will qualify for the final stage. And we are looking for 3 winners. First one up and second one out of.
Alright, so what's the price for the form? And how can viewers get the form if they want to be part of the show?
Okay, yes, Minister John.
Alright, the price of the form is 50,000, and we are targeting three aspects. We are targeting the singing aspect, melodrama, which is dancing and all, and we're also targeting poetry. Yeah, those 3 aspects are the things we want to target, and the cost of the form is 50,000 euros for a form, which is open, as Ezekiel said. We want to encourage a lot of people to come.
Where can people purchase the form?
Okay, you can get your form here at Star TV, Media One Center. You can also get a form at Full Gospel Evangelistic Ministry. It is located at Wilberforce, Lumley Road. Okay, and then we'll give out numbers. If you don't know the place, you will call those numbers.
What's the numbers?
They will give it to you.
Do you have the numbers there? No?
Yes, for Full Gospel we have 076 806 602, and for Star Television, of course, we have 077 66 5068 and 079 673149. And you can also contact Pastor Samuel Johnson for New Harvest Ministry by Fire Force. You can contact him and you will have the form. But soon today, people start seeing the video, the advert going out.
When will the forms be available?
And the forms is available now. You can call at Star Television. You can call on the numbers that you will see.
And of course, our office is easy to locate. It's at 3 Mama Street at Brookfield. Is there any age limits for the contestants?
Oh, it's an open.
It's open.
It's an open something.
Okay.
Yes, it's an open.
So I don't know. I'm excited about this whole thing. I want to see the impact it will create, especially in the mindsets of youths. What's your take?
Yeah, I think as I stated earlier, it will create a lot of impact, you know, in the mindset of the youths and every other person that will be part of this program, because now the main aspect is transforming the mindset of our youth. Is something really that we should be considering as a country and as a church, because if you are able to get your youth focused on something that will benefit them or something that will impact their lives positively, then it's a step in the right direction. So we are also very, very excited, because we know in Sierra Leone, and especially in the church, we have a lot of talents, a lot of them. But then the platform for the world or for people to see them has been a problem. And so Star Television giving us that platform is really, really exciting. And it's only not a benefit to the church, as I said, it is also a benefit to the whole nation, to families. You know, people will have something to look up to after your day's work. I mean, you have something to say, let me sit down with my family. You know it's a safe content, because it is something that will basically be entertaining, that will basically be, I mean, in the discipline of the Christian aspect. And so it is something that you will not be afraid to call even your children to come and watch, because it will be an inspiration for them. I mean, to say to them, if this guy can do it, you can do it. Why not go for it? And this is just season 1. we are sure that after this, you know, and what people will see from this competition, the season 2 will be a wow, because a lot of people will now understand to say, oh yes, this is a platform that I think that I should be there. My church should be there. Because by you just being part of it, you know, it's going to be massive. People will know about your church, they will know about you as an individual, they will know about your choir, and then a lot of benefits will follow.
So it's a show with a difference.
Definitely.
All right, continue to stay with me. Let's go in for another news item. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Danema, has officially launched the first induction session for the 4 sets of beneficiaries under the Agribusiness Services Matching Grant, coordinated by the Smallholder Commercialization Project, SCADEP, at the ceremony held in Bo City. Here is more on that report.
The Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Danema, noted that SCADEP is a coordinated organization under the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, supported by the Ministry of Finance. He maintained that the establishment of SCADEP is to help in the realization of food self-sufficiency, adding that the government has identified 3 key ministries having much potential to revolutionize the economy, namely the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Tourism and Agriculture Ministry. Joseph Danema maintained that the Smallholder Commercialization Agriculture Development Project, SCADEP, is aimed at providing funds for profit-registered agribusiness and off-taker companies in Sierra Leone, and call on stakeholders to work together to advance SCADEP development projects.
SCADEP, as the coordinator pointed out, is a project designed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry with a very strong support from the Ministry of Finance. This was a project that started before we came in. When I say we, the new direction. But immediately we came, we called the bank and the management to order. We went through some review process to reflect the aspirations of the new direction. And that is what His Excellency the President, the retired Brigadier Julius Maada, has sought to accomplish during this of his first tenure of office.
He revealed that the project is a 5-year program that seeks to promote agriculture commercialization through market linkage, market access improvement, support to states and non-state actors, and project management and evaluation. In a PowerPoint presentation, the grant manager SCADEP, Mr. Almami Kagbo, explained that the Agricultural Business Matching Grant is aimed at providing grants to producer organizations, peers, and small and medium enterprises along the value chain.
So the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, NAFSIL, SLICA, SLIWOP, all them partners they will work with now. We dey strengthen them, because if we not strengthen them, they're not going to be able to work with now. So that is what we do. And the fourth component that are project management and coordination. So in short, that's now what SCADEP they do, and that's now always today about. But for today, we want to focus no more on the second funding window under component 1, where are the ASMG, we make with the ASO today. So basically, we will now talk about the ASMG, yeah?
It could be recalled that in March 2017, the Sierra Leone Agribusiness Development Fund, SLADEF, was officially launched at the Bintumani Hotel, Aberdeen in Freetown, in collaboration with the fund manager, KPMG, which was based on the first call for concept notes for funding under the SLADF. For Star News in Freetown, compiled by Abdurrahman Kamara, read in our studios by Hassan Kouma.
Many thanks, Hassan. It's 9:44 from our studio clock. Let me come again to Victor Mengot. Now, let's look at the traffic law enforcement. What's the current situation?
Well, the traffic law enforcement, when you talk about law enforcement, there are 3 agencies responsible for law enforcement. The primary law enforcement agency is the police. You also have the Sierra Road Safety Corps, and you also have the Freetown City Council. But Freetown City Council, mostly their responsibility is to look at parking in the city, in the CBD and other areas. But where we should look and focus and concentrate on is how the road safety corps and the police together work in order to enforce traffic laws. And also we have to look at the laws themselves. I'll give an example. In the 2007 Traffic Act, there's provision for spot fines. And on those spot fines, there are also offenses that have been identified that you allocate penalty point systems to. In other words, let's say, most people don't know that you should not park within 5 meters of a zebra crossing. In the UK, for example, if you do that, that's 6 penalty points. So first of all, let's look at the laws, determine the offenses that have penalty points, allocate those points, and then when people reach a certain level of point, because it's in the law, their license should be withdrawn. Yeah. As I said earlier on, having a license is a privilege and not a right. And then when you're given that license, you have certain responsibility in terms of behaving on the road. But if you're causing problems for other road users, you should not be on the road.
So what's your take on adhering to the road safety regulations?
Adhering to road safety regulations, first of all, the Outer Island Road Safety Authority, they have weekly program on TV, the Road Safety Hour. But let's look at the target audience. How many people in Sierra Leone have access to television? It may be good. Yeah. The media that people understand now.
Some people have access, but they don't have time to.
Okay. The media that people understand now is the radio. Let's engage our community radio stations. In every part of Sierra Leone, there's a community radio station. And have regular road safety awareness program. The private sector also can help because it's in their interest, because they employ people whose lives are very precious and who contribute to their development. Let's look at history, what has happened in the past. I grew up in Sierra Leone years ago when we had traffic police officers going to schools, teaching us as children about how to use the road safety. We were taught things like the Green Cross Code. Look left, look right, look left again. If the road is clear, proceed. We have zebra crossings in this country. No, most drivers don't know the significance of zebra crossings. Our children don't know how to use the road. We can also start by looking at the school curriculum. How do we include road safety into the school curriculum? So these are the things that need to be considered. It's some of these little things that make a big difference. So that when you talk about enforcement, the responsibility falls both ways. The enforcement officers and you, the road users.
So you think there is a need to improve road safety users' compliance to traffic regulation?
Definitely. There's a definite need to improve that. But then let's look at another issue. The people who we put on the road to drive. And when I go around the world and talk to world leaders, I ask them a simple question, because I've been in the transport profession for 40 years. And I started here as an air traffic control officer in Sierra Leone. And air traffic control is the safest, aviation is the safest means of transport. If you have one flight that even kills 20 people, there will be investigation and investigation. So I ask our leaders this simple question. How many of you would be prepared to go into an aircraft knowing that the pilot is not trained? But why do we allow drivers on the road who have not followed proper training system, who have not been certified? Because you must have a graduated driving license and certification system. To have an ordinary car driver's license is different for a license when you're driving an articulated lorry. That is a special license. Also, people who are bus drivers need to go through particular training aspects. So the way we train our drivers, the way we license them is very important, because these are the people we depend on, who take us around. Let us make sure they have higher standards. And that can be done by collaboration between the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, which is the lead agency, the police, and other organizations such as ours. Because
sorry to cut you. These institutions that are responsible for developing and implementing our traffic rules and regulation, how can you examine their functionality?
Well, to be honest with you, our traffic laws are up to date because we have the 207 Traffic Act, which is comparable to even the one we have in the UK. Then we have the 2011 traffic regulations. There are certain things that in that regulations which have been flouted. For instance, your lighting system. We have seen vehicles on the street with these strobe lights, which are dangerous to other motorists. How do we enforce them? We have laws in this country which decides what type of horn you should use. We have vehicles now using horns as loud as, and those are as loud as you know, very scary. How do we enforce them? We need the instruments. Of course, we need finance. Yeah. These institutions need to be supported with appropriate resources to enforce the law. Alongside looking at the public education. The public education is very much important because people need to know their own responsibility. I'll give you an example. Let's take Okada rider. The mother who carries 4 children on an Okada. Is it the law? Or is it that mother to understand that you're putting yourself and your children at risk? Yeah? That is this issue. One of the laws that I think has been actually followed in Sierra Leone compared to other African countries, and I'm very proud of our country for that, is wearing of seatbelts. Yeah?
Because there is a fine.
There's a fine, yeah, but there are other things that there's a fine that people still do. What we call in the profession distracted driving. How many times have you seen drivers driving on the road using a mobile phone, texting? There are also laws against that, but people don't adhere to them.
Okay.
So these are the issues. The behavioral aspect is very important, and it's the responsibility of every road user not to put yourself at risk.
All right, so we're rounding up now. I'll come back to you shortly. Let me bring in Ezekiel and Minister John Idris. What about the judges for the competition? How credible are they?
They are people with high caliber, people who know what they are doing, especially for the singing, trained qualified judge from music aspect. And it's not a disclose something. It's not a to disclose to people, say these are the judges. No,
yeah.
When you come, you see them, and it will be like this. Maybe for a week we'll have a set of judge. The other week we have a new set of judges. So by the time we reach final, we try to see how best we can interact with the first week and the second week judges to go to the final. And there are people with high credibility.
Will that be like gospel mentors that will mold the contestants into polishing their performance?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, definitely. We're not just doing this to, it's a competition, true. But then, as we said, we want to bring out the talents that we have in the churches, and also to, to make them grow. Because when you look at other reality shows, the whole aspect of it is for the people, even after the program, to see what that competition made out of them. So it is not just about you competing, but it is also an opportunity and a privilege to meet credible judges who are trained in music and other aspects, and then they'll be able to be role models to you and guide you, and also take you through
there's
your
also
journey.
another package, content which will be added to the competition. It's not just like singing. There are going to be some side attractions along the show, so it will be like an interesting, interactive and fun-filled program.
So what's the winning prize?
Yeah, we all sit and we agree.
I see you want to say something.
Yeah, and also I want to say the public is going to be, a very important judge.
Will they have chance to vote?
Yes, yes. So that is what it's going to make it really, really interesting. Okay. Yes. Now we're going to have judges, true, because we want the content to be of a quality, and then we want the people that will say qualified to the final, people of really, when you hear them or when you see them do what they are there to do, you attest to say yes, I agree. But then, because sometimes if you just say let the public vote, some people genuinely will vote because they think this guy has talent or this guy is good. But some people just have fans, even if they are not that good, but you have a lot of people, supporting them, which is also very, very good. And so that is why we're going to take it from two aspects. It is going to be people who know what you're doing, who are going to judge you, who are going to analyze what you've done, who are going to, direct you, who are going to critique.
And they're credible people.
Credible people who are going to critique the things.
Time is running out for us now. Remind viewers about the tickets, the forms, the price for the forms, and where they can purchase them.
Okay, I'll talk about the price. As I said, the price for the form, the registration form, is 50,000 leons. Per category, because we have three categories. So you buy one form at 50,000 and just tick the category that you want to be part of. As we said, you will get your form here at Star TV Media One Center. You will get your form at Full Gospel Evangelistic Ministries, Wilberforce, Lumley Road. You will get your form at New Harvest Ministries. Contact Pastor Samuel Johnson. He has the form.
And also you can get your form at Zion Praise Hill Station. You can contact Minister Satengbe. And what we want people to know that the category, you only apply for one category.
What are the categories?
Singing, melodrama, and poetry.
Okay.
You apply
so
for one category.
What will be your closing courtesy?
My closing courtesy is this is an opportunity that Star TV and Gospel Promoters has created for the gospel industry. To you pastors, to you members, let's make use of this opportunity. It's our time for the church to stand and show out our God-given talent. To our youth out there, the Bible says we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation. It says, let your light so shine before men, that they may see the good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
I never knew my colleague is
so really should go out there and show your light.
All right. Thank you so very much. Quickly.
Yes, all right. My closing courtesy will be, let us take advantage of this opportunity and let us come out and be part of this first Gospel Expo. And we want to say a big thank you to Star TV for the opportunity. And we hope that people will come on board, pastors, youth groups, choir, individuals, come out and showcase what you have. We have the platform now to show what we have. Let's make use of it.
All right, thank you so very much, Minister John Idris and Ezekiel Kagbo. Let me bring in Victor Mengot. What will be your advice for safer roads in Sierra Leone?
My advice for safer roads, let's start with the thinking that road safety is a collective responsibility. It's everybody's business to make sure you travel safe, make sure you obey the law. But with that comes the theme that we have today is leadership. We need leadership. We have a new direction. Let that new direction be that some of the things that the president has said, that they will uphold the rule of law. Let it be there. Nobody should take advantage of their position to break the law. The police officers are willing to do their job, but at times their enforcement duties are being taught because of people who think that they are above the law. So no one should be above the law. Let the law be administered. Secondly, we have to provide resources for the people who are enforcing the law. Now there are new modern system of to enforce road safety. We have 2 traffic lights in this country. I know there are proposals to look at how you use technology to manage our traffic flow. How you need, things like the police are looking at having things like radar speed guns to measure speed. And people, speeding is a very serious issue, especially on a highway. So it's a collective responsibility. And also, the agencies responsible for road safety, that is the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, and the police, should work with organizations such as ours, who serve the interests of the public, because we are nearer to the public than them. Let's work together to see how we can make a better Sierra Leone. And so that is what I think will improve our road safety situation in this country.
Okay, thank you so very much. He is Victor Akomengot, Traffic Road Safety Engineer and Chartered Transportation and Highway Engineer. We've been talking about road safety in Sierra Leone. I also spoke with my colleague Ezekiel Kagbo and Minister John Idris. They've been talking to us about Gospel Expo that Startive in collaboration with the Gospel Promoters Union has unveiled. And don't forget to be a part of that show and showcase your talent. You might be a star, you never know. Well, that's how we end the program for today. And remember that the forms are out now. Is it, Ezekiel?
Yes.
Yeah. And you can purchase it for 50,000 leons here at Star Television and other outlets. Let me leave you with a wise word which says, don't let yesterday take up too much of today. It is from Will Rogers. Have yourself a blessed day. I am Leonora Jawara.
Hello and a pleasant welcome to the local news bulletin file here on Star Television Network Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. First, the headlines. The Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Ndanema, has officially launched the first induction session for the first set of beneficiaries under the Agribusiness Service Matching Grant.
This was a project that started before we came in. When I say we, the new director.
Over 250 students have matriculated at the Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology at their campus in Freetown.
Today's society is a knowledge society. Things keep changing fast that anyone who stops learning will surely become a functional illiterate within a short time.
The Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League, led by the Project Officer of West Africa, Derek Kobina, has revealed plans by the British government to lend support to the ex-service personnel in all the British colonial territories.
And through that, we're able to lobby and advocate and be able to help raise some funds for veterans, not just in Ghana, but across the world, through an organization in the UK called the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Service League.
And in sports, Frabe College University of Sierra Leone has concluded its annual Interhall Athletic Sports meeting at the Sheikh Stephen Stadium with Baibure Hall crowned champions with 380 points. Those were the headlines. And now for the news in detail with me, Sienna Wright. The Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Ndanema, has officially launched the first induction session for the first set of beneficiaries under the Agribusiness Service Matching Grant, coordinated by the Smallholder Commercialization Project, SCARDEP, at a ceremony held in Bow City. Here is the report.
Giving her keynote address, the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Joseph Ndanema, noted that SCADEP is a coordinated organization under the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, supported by the Ministry of Finance. He maintained that the establishment of SCADEP is to help in the realization of food self-sufficiency, adding that the government has identified 3 key ministries having much potential to revolutionize the economy, namely the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Tourism and Agriculture Ministry. Joseph Ndanema maintained that the Smallholder Commercialization Agriculture Development Project, SCADEP, is aimed at providing funds for profit-registered agribusiness and off-taker companies in Sierra Leone, and call on stakeholders to work together to advance SCADEP development projects.
SCADEP, as the coordinator pointed out, is a project designed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry with a very strong support from the Ministry of Finance. This was a project that started before we came in. When I say we, the new direction. But immediately we came, we called the bank and the management to order. We went through some review process to reflect the aspirations of the new direction. And that is what His Excellency the President, the retired Brigadier Julius Maada, had sought to accomplish during this of his first tenure of office.
He revealed that the project is a 5-year program that seeks to promote agriculture commercialization through market linkage, market access improvement, support to states and non-state actors, and project management and evaluation. In a PowerPoint presentation, the grant manager's cadep, Mr. Almami Kagbo, explained that the agricultural business matching grant is aimed at providing grants to producer organizations, peers, and small and medium enterprises along the value chain.
So the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, NAFSIL, SLICA, SLIWOP, all them partners they will work with now. We dey strengthen them because if we not strengthen them, they're not going to be able to work with now. So that is what we do. And the board components that are project management and coordination. So in short, that's now what this kind of they do, and that's now always today about. But for today, we want to focus no more on the second funding window under component 1, where the ASMG we make with the ASO today. So basically, we will now talk about the ASMG. Yeah.
It could be recalled that in March 2017, the Sierra Leone Agribusiness Development Fund (SLADEF) was officially launched at the Bintumani Hotel, Aberdeen in Freetown, in collaboration with the fund manager KPMG, which was based on the first call for concept notes for funding under the SLADF for Star News in Freetown, compiled by Abdurrahman Kamara, read in our studios by Hassan Kouma.
The Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology has officially organized its first matriculation ceremony of over 250 matriculating students at their Allentown via Dewey Bridge campus in Freetown. Hassan Kouma has the detail.
The well-attended matriculation ceremony at the Luban College of Technology and Social Sciences marks the official entry of new students into higher institutions of learning, which is a statutory gathering to formally admit deserving and qualified candidates who are fortunate to be admitted into the college. Giving the welcome address, the chairman of the College Board of Governors, Steve Lamine, noted that this is a special occasion for matriculants going through the matriculation ceremony, describing a bold step as a move to conflict resolution, and implored all to work very hard and hope to see them years from now to celebrate laurels of graduation ceremony.
Let me especially welcome you, the matriculants to Luban College for the first time, and wish you a pleasant stay. This is a special occasion for matriculants who are going through the matriculation ceremony. Today's society is a knowledge society. Things keep changing fast that anyone who stops learning will surely become a functional illiterate within a short time. I admonish you to work very, very hard so that you will all again assemble here before us to celebrate laurels of our graduation ceremony. I ask the audience to join me share this matriculants. Hip, 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 hooray!
Making his keynote address, the Executive Director and Principal of Luban College, Dr. Abdul Bangura, congratulates all matriculating students, thanking them for choosing the institution as their preferred choice. Dilating on the lecture process and continuous assessment, he says students are encouraged to be punctual in attending classes, as the minimum attendance of 75% required to examination hall.
Choosing Luban College as an institution of first choice out of the numerous colleges in this country is a clear confirmation of the confidence reposed on us for our academic excellence known both nationally and internationally. My dear students and parents present here, well-wishers, I would like to assure you all in explicit terms that I am determined to uphold, protect, and ensure the peaceful stay of all students in the Luban College. Matriculating students, the main objective of the matriculation exercise today is to acquaint you with the fundamental principles, norms, and culture of this institution. These core values have projected the image of this institution as a center for learning and character modeling of our students. The core values also depict of the vision of our college, which is to nurture high standards and quality in producing academics, professionals, and entrepreneurs. As you heard from the song, we will not salvage quality. We will maintain standard and never salvage quality. No matter who you are, we will maintain that quality and standards.
Advising the matriculating students on the disciplinary aspect, he called on them to exhibit what he referred to as high sense of discipline in and out of the college. Dr. Bangura also warned that the college will not award its diploma to students who are found wanting in character and in learning.
The college does not permit any activities, any antisocial groups operating on the campus. In particular, membership of cult groups is prohibited and offenders will summarily be expelled. If you are caught in any occult society or occult processes, we will expel you immediately. As long as we verify, yes, that is the truth, you leave this campus. Because we are not here for that. We are here to build you in spirit, to build your mind and your body. And cultism does not.
Making his remarks, the Registrar Luban College, Ayuba Sisay, expands more on the courses offered.
Courses of study at Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology. The college offers certificate, diploma, and higher national diploma courses with a duration of 1 year for the certificate and 2 years for the diploma and higher national diploma courses. The courses are subsumed under 3 departments, namely Management and Finance 2, Development and Media Studies 3, Information Technology and Computer Science.
The Luban College of Social Sciences and Technology was established in 2012 in a bid to encourage manpower development training, help build the manpower capacity of the country at middle management level with a vision to raise leaders who are complete in spirit, mind and body. The occasion was climaxed with signing of the register and a drama performance by the Students' Union depicting the importance of education. For Star News in Freetown, Hassan Koroma reporting.
You're still with the local news bulletin file here on Star Television Network Channel 21, and on to our next story. The Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League, led by the project officer of West Africa, Derek Corbina, has revealed plans by the British government to lend support to the ex-service personnel in all the British colonial territories. When he visited our studios, they spoke to Leonora Jawara in this interview on the intended plans for the ex-service personnel in West Africa.
After serving in the British Army for 10 years, I realized that there was a need to support our own veterans because they take a great deal in supporting their veterans back in the UK. And through that, we're able to lobby and advocate and be able to help raise some funds for veterans, not just in Ghana, but across the world, through an organization in the UK called the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League. So last year, November, the UK government approved £11.8 million for 30 countries to be supported across the world, which in West Africa, Gambia is one of the countries. And basically the beneficiaries will be people who fought under the British command or people who fought for the crown before independence. For example, for the Gambia, they are to receive a certain amount of money which will be disclosed to the veterans in the next couple of weeks for the next 5 years. So I have now been appointed as the project officer for West Africa, covering the Gambia. I just left there yesterday, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria and Cameroon. And this is a 5-year project which the UK government wants to distribute £11.8 million across these countries. Before Sierra Leone got independence, there was a switch. The British government would have handed over the baton to the Sierra Leone government when you gained independence. All the soldiers before that time will be eligible for that because they are still classed as, in a way, still serve under the British command. They serve the crown and they don't have any pension, I would say. So this is just a way to say thank you for their contributions to the war. I think some of them even fought in the Second World War, but these are pre-independence veterans who the UK government want to take care of at the moment. Yes.
I think it's a very, very good opportunity for me because my dad is a retired officer, even though he's not well within that bracket, but at least it's a way of me serving my country. I left here, I went back to the UK, served the British Army, and then came back to give a support to Derek on this project. I think for myself to be part of it, it's really, really, really good. You know, and I'm looking forward to support it all the way for these guys to receive the benefit that they needed.
So, yes, and the Sierra Leone Ex-Servicemen's Association had been a conduit between the Royal Commonwealth Services League and the war veterans, mostly from the Second World War, and we've been receiving a minimal medical support on a yearly basis to support those people. It does, it's a welcome development if the British government can now think actually that they should be of better service to these people after long years, and I think it's good development, and I appreciate their thinking in that line.
Okay. Your military number, you should have like a discharge book, because the army would have given you a discharge book, some medals to prove, but we also have a list from the UK, because the UK government gave those pre-independent veterans those army numbers. So there are ways and means which I'll be able to verify, and there's a form to fill if we find out that somebody qualifies. It's called a Form A, which is pretty much a 2-3 page form with basic requirements. But also, if the veteran, the pre-independent veteran has passed away and the widow is alive, then the funds will go to the widow. So it doesn't just end with the veteran, because I know that most of them would have probably passed away. This year marks 80 years of the beginning of the Second World War, which is 1939 to 1945, so exactly 80 years. So we are looking at most of these Second World War pre-independent veterans being in their 70s or 80s, or probably 90s or more.
And now to round up the news sports. Frabe College, University of Sierra Leone, has concluded its annual Interhall Athletic Sports meeting at the Sheikh Stephen Stadium with Baibura Hall crown champions with 380 points. Now let's join our sports correspondent Hilton John for some sporting updates.
Since 2014, sports and sports is back in FBC. How do you feel?
I feel so good because since sports is come back, I'm able to exhibit my talent.
So excited, very happy because I work for it throughout this month. I've been training for this 100 meter.
You expecting to get a champion?
Yes, of course.
Since 2014, sports for FBC, now sports is back. How do you feel as a student?
Very happy because this is my talent. I love this game. I'm very happy about that.
You won the 200 meter. You happen to win the 100 meter.
Yeah.
What's the secret behind it?
Just training. You just have to train. Put your effort in it. Whatever thing that you want to do, just be focused and have the passion for the game.
Such a wonderful event, especially when we've gone almost 4 years without any sports meets, especially from the Frabe College. This is a very new beginning, and I want to thank the Vice Chancellor and the University Administration for giving me this opportunity to serve as your Grand Chief Patron for today. I want to pledge my continuous commitment to not just sport, but to the entire young people of Sierra Leone. In those few words, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the winner for today. Whether it's Gabriel, David Siniku, or Solomon Koka, I want to congratulate.
And by the point of the results given to me, I declare my brother as the winner.
Congratulations. What does the win mean for your house?
Well, it means a lot. For the past 12 months, we've been preparing for this, and it shows that we really prepared. We want to thank God for this victory. I want to dedicate this trophy to all whoever is in and out of Sierra Leone. Of course, special thanks to our whole mistress and our whole masters, Mr. Bangura, Dr. Kele, Madam James. We want to thank them all for their dedication, for their commitment. This is the result.
That's all in the local news bulletin file for the hour on Star Television Network, Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. Thanks for watching and do stay with us.